In Zimbabwe, President Emerson Mnangagwa, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. In Zimbabwe, President Emerson Mnangagwa recently rejected a proposed $350 million health funding deal from the United States, describing the agreement as one-sided and a potential threat to the country's sovereignty. The funding was reportedly intended to support the construction of hospitals and clinics across the country. However, Zimbabwean officials argued that some of the conditions attached to the deal could compromise national interests. The decision has sparked wider debate across the African continent about foreign aid, sovereignty, and the political conditions that often accompany international funding. You know what? I never thought Zimbabwe has had it in them. I never thought Zimbabwe was that country that could look at the United States today and say, you know what? You've played in our faces for so long. First of all, you sanctioned us and you gave us this reputation throughout Africa that we are a lost state, a destroyed state, a non-functional state. And today you want to offer us $350 million to build clinics amid this war. At this point, I'm starting to think that the United States is just looking for allies everywhere. It's looking for people that can say, hey, whenever the United States comes calling, you will answer that call. They want to keep us on a leash, and Zimbabwe is saying, not with us. Sorry, try the weak state of South Africa. So yeah. And the next country to reject the United States, by the way, is Zambia, having rejected $1 billion funding. Now, this is the backbone that African countries need more of. This attitude to geopolitical maneuvering will save Africa. Having standards will save Africa. I mean, why would the United States offer Zambia $1 billion for what? I feel like every African country should know that foreign aid has something attached to it. Foreign aid basically is selling your soul away to these foreign countries to own us. You are giving them leeway to come and interfere in our domestic politics. You're giving them a chance to dictate our policies. By the way, if you think that they are doing it out of the goodness of their own heart. I mean, if they wanted to, Zimbabwe would have been developed a long time ago instead of condemning it and giving it a bad name. The same goes to Zambia. So I'm very proud of them for having standards, unlike some countries that I know. Meanwhile, other countries outside the continent are also taking bold diplomatic steps. The Maldives has recently cut diplomatic ties with Israel, citing political and humanitarian concerns surrounding the situation in Palestine and most recently Iran. These developments raise important questions about the shifting global order. Is the world beginning to push back against the influence of powerful nations like the United States and its close allies? Or are these isolated decisions driven by local political considerations? I mean, for decades, critics have accused both Washington and its allies of interfering in the domestic affairs of other countries, shaping trade relationships, political alliances, and foreign policy decisions around the world. Examples often cited included US sanctions on Venezuela, the invasion of Venezuela as of recent that saw Nicolas Maduro being embarrassed and arrested in public like that, walking out basically naked. So I feel like at this particular juncture, the United States has interfered in our lives for so long. Like, honestly, I feel like now people isolating themselves or purging themselves of the United States is the model, the political standards that we should be thriving towards. It's the model that we should be looking towards. These developments raise important questions about the shifting global order, as I've mentioned, and I'm happy to repeat it again. Is this the world beginning to push back against the influence of powerful nations like the United States and its close allies? Or are these isolated decisions driven by local political considerations? For decades, critics have Critics have accused both Washington and its allies of interfering in the domestic affairs of other countries, shaping trade relationships, political alliances, and foreign policy decisions around the world. Examples often cited include US sanctions on Venezuela, as I've mentioned, and ongoing international divisions surrounding Israel's policies towards Palestine. The bigger question now is whether the global community is entering a new era, one where smaller nations are asserting greater independence from traditional superpowers. And if that shift is happening, it could fundamentally reshape global diplomacy in the years ahead. I say that Iran is setting such a fabulous standard on how we should conduct business when it comes to these global superpowers. If anything, Iran showed how weak and vulnerable Israel and the United States are. At this point, they've exposed that these two countries, Israel and the United States, work with people's perceptions. What you see in Hollywood and everything, it was a mind game. It was a psychological war waged on us to perceive the United States as this big superpower that cannot be brought to its knees. And Iran is now erasing that indoctrinated fact in us. They're erasing that. They're giving us new possible scenarios. Come on now. Someone in the comment section needs to understand that we are entering new territories. We are entering new territories, and it will heed us well to grab this opportunity with everything in us and move forward without the United States and Israel. Zimbabwe is doing it. Who would have thought Zimbabwe, out of all countries in the world, would have the balls to say no to the United States? Who thought? I never thought that. What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News channel.